Oh, two other things I'm glad I remember, because we are going to be holding a press conference real soon about this. We had a two-unit building on 41st Street that one of our small banks foreclosed on, and we evicted a tenant in one unit, so it was vacant. The other unit, it was a grandmother. It was her grandkids that were real problems. The police department had notified us. We got calls from the city attorney, and they were going round and round, threatening us if we didn't evict these people. And so I went round and round with one of the assistant district attorney, Adams. I said, look, we can't evict this person for nuisance because none of the neighbors are calling you up. They were calling us at sometime at 3 o'clock in the morning, through our hotline. And so we said, none of those people are going to go to court and testify. We can't evict them for non-payment rent because they paid the rent ahead of time. So we went round and round, and I talked to the city attorney. I said, if we do a request for information, because they did so many police arrests and raids at that place, and so we said we could go in and request a public information request on things like that, trying to subpoena police records and stuff takes forever and a day. So finally, after going months and months and months and months around with city attorney's office, they finally agreed, and the city attorney sent us a letter on city stationery, says evict these people at this address, and here are all the charges, and here are all the arrest records, and here are all the police badge numbers and dates of all the arrests. They gave us all that, city stationery. We filed it, served it, gave it to our attorney. I'll tell you the story. Our first attorney, when we sent it to him, he looked at it and he said, Mac, we do a lot of work for you, but my wife saw that complaint and said, she's scared to death those people come out and kill us. And so I tell you a story. So not that he's my favorite attorney, but they said, send it to Dennis Block, he'll take anything. So we sent it to Dennis. Filed it, and do you know Eviction Defense Network filed an answer, requested a jury trial. We went to jury trial, subpoenaed the 4 police officers. They came and testified, 3 days of jury selection, 2 days of the trial. We prevailed at the trial. This is hard to believe, at the trial. It was 11-1. We're thinking like that one juror, were they related to them or something? I mean, this doesn't even make sense. Okay, so we prevailed. Then Eviction Defense Network, they filed a motion for reconsideration of the jury trial. Reconsideration of a jury trial where 4 police officers sworn to duty testified on this case. So fortunately, the judge didn't accept it. He threw it out. Then they filed about a half a dozen other motions that all got kicked out. Then we finally got the writ, the first of 5 writs. Every time the day before, and I called and sent the city attorney letter. I said, Mike Fuhrer, I said, if I were you, I'm the city attorney, you order us to evict some people, and you got Eviction Defense Network that's paid by city money, I would pick up the phone and call them. Said, do you know who I talked to it for himself. He said, Mr. Bennett, I understand. He said, but laws are what they are. He said, I like to talk with your group about doing something. He said, but there's nothing I can do. Right. This is city attorney. So you talk about just cause when the city attorney can't even evict somebody. So how is Mr. Whitfield going to evict a tenant like that? It's absolutely insane. And so finally, we just got locked out the other day. Tomorrow, we're going to be boarding the place up, and the city told us, send us a copy of the pictures and everything once it's boarded up, secured. They would close the file. And I told him we're going to have a press release about this, and he said, well, could you send the city attorney, we realize this is a problem, but, city attorney, this is not bad. I said, I really don't care about that. I said, but I will give you the courtesy. I will send you a copy of the press release before we plan it, and we're going to plan it. We're going to try to have a press conference on City Hall about this kind of stuff. So, at any rate, that's kind of one of the stories, and we have a few other stories we won't even go into that are very similar pattern where we're trying to evict people with pit bulls and stuff. And we even had the animal control guy came to court and testified, jury trial, testified that he was there and he had to call for a backup person because these pit bulls tried to attack them. And yet, one of the, I think that was Basta defended them on that. I mean, it's absolutely insane how the system is. So once again, we have to be very vigilant and about this. Now, one of the things, and maybe after if anybody is interested, as you know, I sit. It's kind of like a kangaroo court. I sit on the tenant protection working group for the county of Los Angeles. The board of supervisors decided that they wanted to take a look at some kind of tenant protection in the unincorporated area of the county. So I'm one of the people on the panel, and fortunately I have Dr. Green on it, who is the professor of law at UCLA, one of the most noted persons in the world on landlord-tenant law stuff, author of books, speaks all over the country. And me and him, it's 10 people. Each supervisor appointed 2 people. So it's 8-2. Me and Richard are only 2 people that I think, and so they kind of tried to challenge Richard on a few things, but this man has so much knowledge and so much information. Sometime in a meeting, when he asks about something, in less than 2 minutes, he goes right on his computer and just spits out the facts and stuff. So I don't know why they keep challenging Mr. Green on this, but he asked the city control office, could there be a minority report on this? Because obviously the other 8 people, they're just so, they were appointed, and if you look at the supervisors that appointed them, you understand. You got Sheila Kuehl, people, they're just straight out for rent control. So, I mean, and at one of the meetings, one of the people, actually Barbara Schultz, who heads the one of those rent control agencies, she said, well, the supervisors wants us to have and invoke rent control. And Richard said, well, then if that's what the supervisors want, then why are we all wasting our time sitting here? And so the room was silent, and so we've had a lot of meetings like that, so it's not going well. So with all that to say, if anyone, our next meeting is going to be, and I'll just verify the date and time, next meeting is going to be the 21st of May at the Hall of Registration downtown. So I can say at this point, other than one time when Ruth went with me there were no people that looked like me in that audience.